Lisa Barlow, I know I'm not going to start liking you because I actually really liked you in this episode and understood you a lot better. And Giselle, not you getting checked by Kyle.
Welcome to the Asia Esterak Hour, where film meets conspiracy and pop culture gets a reality check. From sharp recaps to sci-fi theories and media deep dives, Asia Esterak serves it unfiltered. Let the binge begin.
All right, welcome back to the Asia Esterak Hour. I am Asia Esterak. All right, this is my quick review of the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, Season 5, Episode 2. I took a few notes because I had to watch this sucker again before I did this real quick on my lunch break. Anyway, so we are now on our way to Beverly Hills, the second stop of the show. So remember, they were just in Orange County. So we open with them at the hotel that they're staying at. They're actually going to be leaving to go to Beverly Hills. It's Kyle's 30th wedding anniversary. So as we know, her and Mauricio are not in the best place. It was actually really sad. She was crying at one point. She actually stopped prior to going to lunch with them. And she talks with Vicky a little bit about it. This is bad. I'm reading my notes as I drive. Anyway, so they eat, they get on the Sprinter van, and they head to Beverly Hills. In the van, why has Vicky got her laptop out doing Kodo insurance? Vicky's a trip, boy. So while they're on the Sprinter van, Giselle, because you know Giselle's messy, she brings up, she's like, so a little birdie came to my room last night named Lisa Barlow and mentioned that, Vicky, you wanted to put me in a box. So Vicky, rightfully so, was upset about Giselle going back and running her mouth to Tamra. And Vicky basically calls her out on it. She's like, yeah, you know, you came in and inserted yourself in a 17-year friendship. You know, what was the motivation for going back and telling her that? So Giselle gets a little defensive at first, and is basically saying, well, you were kind of talking bad about her to me and Luann. Luann co-signs. Vicky recognizes that she was talking crap, but she also lets Giselle know, like, that's not your place to do all that. And what's funny is, Giselle, just because you do that on your show doesn't mean it's going to fly with everybody else. Because I like Giselle. It took me years to like her, but I'll give Vicky this much. It's not your place to do all of that. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to do that on every show that you're in, but Giselle, it's who you are. I used to hate you for it. I still don't necessarily love it, but I understand why you did it. She did apologize-ish. My only thing with this is, Giselle, you tried to make it like it was all Vicky's fault. The reality is you don't have to go back and repeat everything that you're told either. But it was funny that they kind of called Vicky out for working and just being extra. Vicky's extra. What was interesting, though, is that in this scene, Teresa, I love Teresa because Teresa's funny. Teresa goes, it takes me time to process. So Teresa kind of calls out Vicky for the comments that she made about her looks and changing. It seems like she came for Teresa a few times in that first in this first episode, because she said that Teresa's looks changed the most. And then she also implied, you know, the whole thing with Teresa and the wire, the mortgage fraud, not paying her taxes, like, it was a lot. And Teresa kind of brought all that up. And then Vicky says, well, also, I'm sorry. So at one of at the BravoCons, Andy had asked Vicky who was the most overrated housewife. And at the time, Vicky said Teresa. So Teresa says in the Sprinter van that maybe she said that because she was a little jealous. Teresa had been getting everything. I guess she was on Dancing with the Stars at the time. So she admitted that she was a little jealous. Okay. Anyway, so they get to Beverly Hills and they end up staying at the Beverly Hilton. They're staying there for the night before they go to the ugly leather pants party that Sutton's having. They're having an ugly leather pants like lunch party at Sutton's house, which was really funny. So they go up to the rooms. The rooms are beautiful. The Beverly Hilton room's gorgeous. And they end up doing like a PJ party, which was cute. So at the PJ party, they're having a little fun. They're dancing and enjoying themselves. At one point, Vicky and Luann kind of have a little bit of discussion because Luann tells Vicky that she's controlling. Vicky, you know what's funny? Vicky, you are very much aware and awake on this girls trip because, again, season 2, when you were in the Berkshires, you weren't feeling good. You had just been broken up with and your energy wasn't great. The irony that this time around you have a man, your energy is up, and you're doing too much. But it was cool. Right before they do have the PJ party, though, we meet Luann's boyfriend. She's FaceTiming with her boyfriend. So she's dating some dude. Good looking man, German. He was cute. And Luann travels a lot. The boyfriend travels a lot. So she said it's kind of perfect. Luann stay with a man. It stays with a good looking man too. Good for you, Luann. So back to them in this scene playing around. So they end up kind of leaving. Luann and Vicky pretty much tabled that because Luann is like, no, I know controlling. Girl, you're controlling. And Vicky's like, I'm not controlling. Okay. But all right, it is what it is. So this scene was cute because they're dancing, they're twerking. At one point, Kyle does her famous splits. I fell out when Lisa Barlow was like, well, I can do the splits, but I can only do them this way. That was kind of funny. So in the confessionals, Lisa Barlow, this is where I was like, am I going to start liking you, Lisa Barlow? So Lisa's like, I'm really enjoying myself. I haven't had this much fun. I can't even remember the last time. So she starts getting emotional and actually starts crying. And so the producer off screen is like, why are you getting so emotional? I feel like, you know what? Anybody that's been watching me knows I'll admit when I'm wrong. I'll admit when I'm wrong about somebody. And I like when you can understand somebody. I'm a Gemini. We're naturally inquisitive. I like to know why things tick. I like to know why people are the way they are. So Lisa Barlow says, you know, on my show, we never have fun. We all just end up fighting, and it's usually at my expense. Now, Miss Lisa Barlow, you be starting a lot of the bullshit on your show. And the problem is they bring it up a lot and then you don't take accountability the way that you should. And then you end up in this cycle. But all that being said, she's still a human. As much as I've dragged her on her show, she is a human. And I felt like in this instance that I think on her show, she's always on the defensive, which is why she comes out and acts the way that she does. And we know that on her show, the ladies go a little hard. They go hard on each other. They do on all these shows. But it was nice to see that she is human after all. We know this anyway, but you could tell, I said this last year, Lisa Barlow is a hurt little girl and clearly experienced some shit, which is why she acts the way she does as an adult. But it was nice to see her in a vulnerable moment, whether she didn't realize that she be the reason she be on some bullshit on her show. But it was still nice to see. Watch me start liking Lisa Barlow this year. Watch us get to Salt Lake City and I start understanding her ass. That's okay. I've done it twice this year with Wendy and Drew. Why not Lisa too, right? But it was nice to see that moment with her. Notes. So let me refer. So the ugly leather pants party. So the ugly leather pants party is at Sutton's house. And what's funny is Crystal, the one that she argued with originally 5 years before, saying, where Crystal's like, I think you're just jealous. And she's like, what if you're ugly leather pants? So it was funny that Crystal showed up at Sutton's house. It's cool to see that they're cool. Crystal was wearing the exact same outfit she wore prior, which was kind of funny. And what's funny is she admitted, you know, I haven't worn this outfit since that party. And it is kind of ugly. It was. It was. So the other ladies do come and they actually wear their own version of like ugly leather pants. Giselle was dressed down. Even Lisa was like, this is not an ugly outfit at all. She was wearing a red leather outfit. She looked amazing. It was good. So anyway, they get to Sutton's. Really cute. They sit around and very fancy. You know Sutton, fancy lunch. I don't know how many courses the meals was, but definitely everybody had their own waiter. Came out at the same time, very fancy. They talk about what happened in the OC, because Sutton's like, well, what happened when you guys went to the OC? Vicky briefly goes over the whole bunko party, Slade. They bring up how Shannon apparently was hanging out with Giselle's dude that she met on Love Hotel, because remember, they all were on Love Hotel together. Shannon ended up kissing that guy, the light-skinned black dude. He was on last season of OC. He was like one of her dates in one of the episodes. So apparently Giselle got a little annoyed about that, kind of called Shannon out. But it was funny. So in this scene, they're talking about it, and Giselle's like, well, you know, they were like, so do you feel that Shannon should have given you a heads up? And she's like, yeah, he was my... Sorry about that. My phone got overheated and turned off. It's because I'm filming in the car. I'm wrapping this up. So anyway, they asked Giselle, you know, do you feel like Shannon should have given you a heads up that she was out with your dude? And she's like, yeah, you know, I'm the one that met him on the show. He was my man at the time. If he's kissing Shannon at a party with her, he wasn't your man. Just saying. And what's funny is she showed more interest in the other guy on the show than she did that guy. Anyway, so in this moment, Kyle's like, oh, okay, so how come you didn't give me a heads up about what you said about Mauricio? Or no, I'm sorry, I'm way off. So Giselle's like, she uses... Remember when I saw Mauricio, you know, I gave you the heads up, Kyle. So that's when Kyle was like, well, wait, you also said some other stuff. And they, of course, they rolled the footage. Giselle had made a comment about Mauricio being cute and basically saying that she wanted to spend, if he wasn't married, she would spend horizontal time with him. Kyle, of course, brings that up in a good way. She was definitely confronting her, but not in a confrontational negative sort of way, but basically going like, girl, you do the same shit. What's funny though is why in the confessional Teresa was like, what's horizontal, bitch? Teresa. Anyway, Kyle calls Giselle out, and Giselle at first tries to backtrack, but then she owns it. She goes, you know what, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. And she was right. Let me order my food and we're gonna wrap this up. Okay, order my fries. So basically, they wrap that up, and then they end up doing a scavenger hunt. They play this game called Let the Mouse Go, which was another reference to Sutton and Dorit. I think it was it was Sutton's first season, where Dorit was coming to Sutton at the table, and Sutton's like, you had your fun, now let the mouse go. That was kind of funny. So they split up into teams, and they do this like whole scavenger hunt around Sutton's house. Portia's team ends up winning. Winning the scavenger hunt. They let the mouse out at the end. This was a cute episode. I love the Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. And this season particularly because they're celebrating 20 years of the Housewives. So it's cool that they're doing this road trip, going to different cities and doing like iconic shit. Beverly Hills was obviously Ugly Leather Pants Party. OC was the Bunko Party. I'm enjoying this season. I like these because they're lighter. And I like that we get to see another side of the Housewives. Like, I'm not a huge Tamra Judge fan, but I do recognize that she's iconic to the franchise. I loved her when she was in the Berkshire season 2 of Ultimate Girls Trip. This season, I already like Lisa Barlow, and it's only episode 2. It's because we're seeing a different side of her. And we're just seeing how she interacts with other housewives besides the ones that she's with. And what I find on these shows, the housewives that are problematic on their seasons end up being better on these seasons. That's just what I've noticed. But I do think they need to break it up more. Because I enjoy all these women, but let's keep it real. Luann, Portia, Kyle, Vicky, and Giselle have all done Ultimate Girls Trip before. We need to get another group of ladies. It's cool that Lisa Barlow's here. I think everybody else has done it. Anyway, that was the episode. It was fun. Next week is going to be interesting because it's Kyle's white party and a lot of the housewives are going to be there. And it's clear from the preview that Luann and Miss Erica Jane do not get along. Anyway, I hope that you're having an amazing Wednesday. Stay hydrated and cool because it's hot. Be nice to each other. I'm going to go return these videotapes.
Welcome to the Asia Esterak Hour, where film meets conspiracy and pop culture gets a reality check. From sharp recaps to sci-fi theories and media deep dives, Asia Esterak serves it unfiltered. Let the binge begin.